Hello, great to have your company. You are watching Australia's best online football program. Well, what a week it's been. Our amateur season has kicked off in earnest. And what about our state league? In our Premier Division alone, some heavy losses there by Floreat, Perth and Stirling. More about that a little later on the show. Coming up this week, we find out why Perth Glory's Jacob Burns and his teammates decided to sit in on the B licence coaching classes. All the highlights between Perth and Sorrento and Armadale and Inglewood. Perth coach Mauro Marchione pops in for a chat to dispel some of those rumours that he'd been sacked, and we feature another rising star from our junior ranks. A big show indeed, but first, from Blackburn to Perth Glory and now to Armadale. Andy Todd has been snapped up by the club from the south of the river, and it's proved to be a masterstroke for coach Lee Bamba. The team now sits in 5th spot on the ladder and is emerging as a genuine finals contender. Jonathan Cook caught up with Andy Todd.
Been made to feel very welcome down at Armadale since I've come back. Lee Bamba, the manager here at Armadale, was coaching the goalkeepers at Glory. We linked in on the LinkedIn page, and I just asked Lee the question if there was any opportunities to come and coach out within the State League, and it just rolled from there really. I mean, since I left, I've always been looking to come back. I really enjoyed my time at Perth and enjoyed the lifestyle, and it's growing very fast, football over here, so I just thought there'd be more opportunities to come and coach out here, yeah.
You were obviously playing for Glory a few years ago, as you said, and you were Player of the Year in your first year. How do you reflect on that now?
I enjoyed my time immensely at Glory. The first season went quite well. I still believe we underachieved that year. We got beat on penalties off Phoenix. Second season didn't go so well with injuries. Obviously a new manager comes in, there's always going to be consequences on and off the pitch, and unfortunately I was one of them and headed back to the UK. But my time at Glory was great, mate. Really enjoyed it.
How do you assess Armadale's start of the season so far?
Yeah, I think we've done all right. You know, we're an honest bunch of players. I think that's our strength. If we can, you know, get a little bit more comfortable with the ball, I think yeah, we can maybe surprise a few. I obviously do a little bit down at Armadale with the juniors there and try and put something back into youth soccer and improve the kids.
You still look composed, comfortable on the pitch. How much longer do you want to keep playing?
I think I'll just take each game as it comes, one game at a time. I don't look any further than getting through this game.
Just lastly, Andy, fondest career moment, do you have one?
My career was a little bit up and down, but I obviously managed to captain Blackburn. We got into a few semi-finals, but I'm not one to boast about my career, so we'll leave it at that.
Perth Glory skipper Jacob Burns is one of many current and former Perth Glory players who are considering life beyond the pitch. The B licence coaching seminar was held in Perth recently and allows players and coaches to extend their skills and advance their careers into the A-League. Let's have a listen to the FFA's Rob Sherman.
The mission statement for us really is to be much more accessible for coaches. I think if you come from Europe, what you tend to underestimate is that the enormity of Australia. I mean, to get around is not easy, and so yeah, it's okay to go into central courses, and you know, when you have limited resources, that's the way to do it. But we're in a position now we can bring them to where people are more localised. I think that the course is split over 2 elements, so they do a 6-day, have a 2-month break, and do another 6 days. That really supports their learning, so they get a chance to implement what they've learnt and evaluate what they've learnt. So hopefully the accessibility is allowing more coaches to reach the standard or get the education they require. It's great to have 3 players or current players, you know, from the Perth Glory here, whilst they're still in a playing career, that they're taking the opportunity to get prepared for what comes after football.
I'm a true believer in player education and coach education for the better of our game and the future of our game. So I want to be a big part of that. It can not only benefit me still while I'm still playing, obviously also after football. You know, Rob Sherman's putting on a fantastic B licence, and me along with all the guys here are looking forward to the rest of the week.
Coaching is a profession, and it's a difficult one, and there's a lot of competencies required in it, and a course of education. A light year experience and practical experience is a very important step. Data that comes out of the LMA or the League Managers Association indicates that the more educated coaches are, the more longevity they have in the game. So I think that sort of supports that.
Addiction starts with a choice.
Well, as I mentioned at the start of the show, there were some heavy losses for several All Flags State League clubs at the weekend. In a moment, all the results. But first, let's take a look at the highlights between Perth and Sorrento and Armadale and Inglewood. Sorrento travelled to Dorrien Gardens after coming off a disappointing draw against Coburn in round 4. The Gulls were determined to start strong and didn't waste any time. In the 12th minute, a Perth error gifted the ball to Sorrento's Craig Robson, who fed Anthony Scorich and put the ball past Perth keeper Jason Saldaris. Scorich limped off with a knee injury, but didn't slow down Sorrento's hunger for more. Perth's only meaningful attack didn't come until the half hour when Adam Luca's long-range strike failed to test Sorrento's Curtis Aspden. Saldaris was in the thick of it moments later and managed to keep the Gulls in check after this stunning save. But just after the half-time break, Saldaris was the protagonist again for all the wrong reasons. He miscued his goal kick, which fell at the feet of Knight, who cleverly slid the ball home and doubled Sorrento's lead. Perth struggled to create any clear-cut chances. By the 70th minute, Gavin Knight put the contest beyond doubt with a spectacular free kick. Sorrento 3, Perth 0. 5 minutes later, Sorrento made it 4 with his tap-in, rubbing salt into the wound. Sorrento coach Paul Price more than happy with the performance of his troops.
What we spoke about today was to start quicker than what we had in the past 2 games. At Armadale away, we conceded after 30 seconds, which is never a good start. And then last week, the first 15, I thought Coburn were better than us for 15 minutes, or looked sharper, and then we got in the game and played well. Today, we were a lot more confident. We had to change things again a little bit. David Price came back into the side. Ryan Pearson went back to left back. I thought we dealt with any threats that Perth had today pretty well.
At Integha Stadium, Inglewood United faced off against a spirited Armadale. Inglewood went into attack early, but Armadale's defence was led orderly by Andy Todd, and Cyril Sharrock in goal was proving to be a hurdle. Both teams prepared to put their bodies on the line. Armadale were menacing in attack and looked certain to break the deadlock, but were guilty of fumbling their first half chances. Inglewood turned up the heat in the second half, and a goal looked ominous, but poor finishing coupled with some stunning saves kept United at bay. Armadale grew in confidence towards the end of the match and could have clinched a winner. The fingertips of United's Luke Martino, the only hurdle. 0-0 the final score. In other results, Stirling coach Doug Hesketh blamed himself for his side's 4-3 shock loss against the NTC, while Floreat Athena will be doing a lot of soul-searching this week after a 5-0 thumping by newcomers Coburn. Bayswater made it 5 straight wins with a 3-1 victory over Joondalup, and Balcatta won against Bunbury. So looking at the league table, City sit comfortably clear at the top, Sorrento in outright second, that 1-0 win away in Bunbury leaves Balcatta in third, Stirling are a point behind, and who would believe it, Armadale and Coburn round out 5th and 6th spot respectively. To next week's fixtures, Armadale should be too strong at home for Bunbury, Perth will have a battle on its hands against Coburn, Joondalup host an inspired NTC, Balcatta lock horns with Stirling, Sorrento host Inglewood, and a loss could dash season hopes for Floreat when it takes on the league leaders Bayswater at Frank Drago Reserve. Yes, Athena struggling there. Others would argue are in crisis, but coach Chris Barbas says the tide will turn come this weekend. We can only wait and see. Well, coach Mauro Marchione of Perth SC has also been at the centre of controversy this weekend after that 4-0 thumping at the hands of Sorrento. Mauro Marchione joins me now. Mauro, welcome to Football 360. First of all, no Latin, no Greek, in English.
Yes. My English.
Your English.
Yeah.
There were claims on Twitter that you'd been sacked and replaced by Gary Marocchi at the weekend after that 4-0 result. Can you confirm to us that you are here to stay for 2013 at Perth Soccer Club?
At the moment, yeah, I can confirm. I had, of course, nobody was happy after the result, starting from my coaching staff and the players, and of course the football operation, their board. We made an agreement at the very beginning when we decided to release the majority of the existing squad last year. We have a very young side. We expected to be at this stage. We did not play bad. Against Bayswater, for example, first game for 70 minutes, we were 1-0 up playing against by far the best team in the league.
What's a realistic outcome for you come 2013 at the end of the season? A discounting of making it the final six, the top six?
I don't discount anything. I mean, at the end of the day, first of all, we didn't lose players. The club made a decision to create another cycle with new players, and it takes time. At Bayswater, to me, to finish on top of the league last year, it took me 3.5 years, and I played with unknown players.
Before we go, your crosstown rivals over at Floreat, they take on Bayswater this weekend. Floreat are not doing too well. Any tips for Chris Barbas this weekend?
Just bring the helmet. Wear an helmet, Chris. It's going to be very hard. Sooner or later, even for us, even for Floreat, it will happen that we're going to win a game. Hopefully for Chris, it will be this week. Who knows? But I can't see it happening. I can't.
So Sophie, how did you get started with football?
I started playing football when I was little and just watched my dad play in the football pitch and my older sister, and then just started as a young age playing in the little goals. My favourite player is probably Patrice Evra. He plays for Manchester United as a fullback. He does a lot of the free balls into the box and he just really works hard. The best thing about football is just that you get your mind off your whole of your life. You really enjoy yourself when you're out there. Get some really good coaching now that we've developed the girls programme with NTC. I play number 6, which is on the right side of central midfield. I describe myself as a very creative player, a really aggressive player as well.
So how do you celebrate a goal?
I love the bit of a Tim Cahill action where you punch the side flag up in the corner, and we always just celebrate by cheering and usually a hug and a high five after the goal.
And that wraps up another busy webisode of Football 360 for this week. Plenty of action as you've seen and plenty more to come. Hope you enjoyed the show. We'll be back again next week. Until then, it's bye for now.